Hi, today I am going to teach you the transistor biasing chapter. This chapter is in 2nd PUC Electronics, 2nd PUC Physics, BE, first year, BSc, Diploma, all electronics branches. This is a very important chapter as this is the basics for the amplifier circuit. It's derived as Q point as well as DC load line by using two sources. This is a common emitter configuration. You know, this is emitter, this is collector, this is base. And I always prefer and suggest you to draw the circuit by analyzing the components used, not by hearting. It is an NPN transistor, means this is N, this is P and this is N. Remember, always emitter base junction should be forward biased, whereas collector base junction should be reverse biased to use it as an amplifier. So, emitter base should be forward biased, means base P type should be connected to positive, base P type should be connected to positive, emitter N type should be connected to negative with the resistor. Whereas collector base should be indirectly reverse biased. Otherwise, if I connect like this, it becomes common base. That is, if I connect like this, it becomes common base, not as common emitter. So, I should even see what mode I am using the circuit. Hence, I need to connect it indirectly, means collector and base should be reverse biased. Collector is given to positive. It is at higher potential. That is, if base is having 0.6 volt, they should be 5 volt, 6 volt, like that. Both are positive, but this voltage is higher potential positive than this, so that collector base will be reverse biased. So, we need to see that first and hence connect this like this through the resistor. Since this resistor is connected to collector, we call it as RC. Since this resistor is connected to base, we call it as RB. So, this is about the circuit connection. Now, coming to the DC load line, as I drew and show you in the last slide, the IC is taken along y-axis, VCE is taken along x-axis. The straight line what we draw touches at 2 points. This becomes saturated collector current. This is cutoff collector emitter voltage. Now let us see how do we derive the expressions for these 4 coordinates. That is, this is the same circuit that I have used there. Now, apply KVL to input circuit. Input circuit is what? This part is the input circuit, which consists of base, emitter, RB, VBB, and there is a voltage drop between base and emitter, that is VBE, and the current flowing through the base as IB. If I apply KVL, states that the algebraic sum of the potential rise in the means battery. How many batteries are there in this circuit? There is only one battery, that is VBB. So, I should write it as the sum of the algebraic sum of the potential rise is equal to algebraic sum of the potential drops. These two will make one potential drop, that is IB, RB, plus algebraic sum means plus. This is another voltage drop, that is VBE. Now I will show it here. So this is what I have written here. Rearrange this equation. I want for IB. So what I should do? I should rearrange. I will get IB means first you have to take this side. So this will become VB minus VBE divided by RB. So this is what is the expansion or the equation for base current. Why do I need to calculate base current? Because it is in common emitter mode, and common emitter mode, the current gain is beta. Beta is equal to IC by IB, or I can say that IC is equal to beta times IB. So by calculating IB, I can calculate ICQ, that is Q point. So for that reason, I need to calculate this. Next, we will move on to the output circuit. Output circuit consists of collector, RC, VCC, and emitter. So here there is a collector current which produces a voltage drop ICRC. This is the voltage drop VCE, and the applied source is VCC. On the similar way that how we wrote here, similar way if we write, the VCC on the potential rise is equal to sum of the potential drops, that is IC's RC plus VCE. Again, you know very well, always we take the output. This is what is called as output. So by rearrange this equation for output, VCE, if I take this here, I'll get VCC minus IC RC. Now if I rearrange this equation, I can get IC is equal to, on the same way how I did here, IC is equal to RC, which is equal to VCC minus ICRC, that is this product, you take this side and this you bring this side, so that VCC minus VCE, then bring this RC down. So what happens here is, I'll get IC is equal to VCC minus VCE by RC. If I rearrange this in a manner that VCE by RC, if I take first, minus 1 by RC, which will be a constant value, into VCE plus VCC by RC. Since VCC is constant and RC is constant, I can replace this by a constant value. Always you have studied in Ohm's law also. If this is the graph, the reciprocal of the slope will give me resistor. So 1 by resistor will be the slope. So by taking these things, if I replace this, I will get this in the form of, this equation can be written in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the slope, VCE, you remember, is taken in the x-axis. So I can prove that DC load line is a straight line by deriving this expression. Next, end points of a DC load line. I have just proved that DC load line is a straight line. Now I need to calculate these 2 points. Remember, this equation 3, I am taking it here now, same equation. And how do I get this point? It is on exactly on y-axis. I'll get y-axis point when I make this x-axis 0. X-axis is VCE. If I make VCE 0, I will get IC saturation in this equation. Instead, if I make IC 0, I will get VCE in this equation. So let us see that. Substitute IC is equal to 0 in this equation. If I substitute IC is equal to 0, I will get the point on x-axis. So if IC is equal to 0, this whole thing will become 0. So I'll get VCC is equal to VCE. Means VCE cutoff is equal to VCC. Then second step, I'll substitute VCE is equal to 0. If I substitute VCE is equal to 0, I'll get equation as VCC is equal to ICRC. So VCC is equal to ICRC. If I rearrange this for IC, I'll get IC is equal to VCC by RC. So IC, I can call it as saturated collector current, and hence I got 2 expression, that is, one is VCE cutoff, one is IC saturation. Mark that on the graph and draw a straight line to obtain DC load line. Once again, I'll just revise this. First step is I applied KVL to the input circuit and I obtained what is IB. Second step, I applied KVL to output mesh and I proved by rearranging IC is in the form of MX plus C, that means DC load line is a straight line. Thirdly, I took this equation 3 and then I substituted once IC is equal to 0 to get VCE cutoff, and second time I substituted VCE is equal to 0 to get IC saturation. By doing so, I got the end points of DC load line. Now I need to find out what is this ICQ and VCEQ equations to get Q point. That is the coordinates of Q point. So that is the next derivation. So Q point of a DC load line. For this, as I said earlier, IC is equal to beta times IB and I have already calculated IB. So substitute that values. ICQ instead of IC, now I will make it as ICQ is equal to beta times what was IB? IB was VBB minus VBE by RE. That VBB minus VBE by RB. This is ICQ. Whereas the equation which we took, that is VCEQ is equal to VCC minus ICQ RC. That is, if I take this equation, 1 minute I'll show you. See, this equation I have substituted for the other thing, and now I will take the same equation after rearranging. This was equation 4. I am using equation 2 and equation 4 for my further derivation, for Q point derivation. I am using equation 2 and equation 4 for my further derivation, that is for Q point derivations. After substituting IB, I will get ICQ as this. And now for equation 4, just now I showed equation 4, I will, instead of just writing VCEQ, equation 4 was VCE is equal to VCC minus ICQ into ICQ and RC. So what happens here in this equation, wherever if you substitute IC as ICQ, you will obtain VCEQ. That is what I have written here. So by doing this, I am getting ICQ as well as VCQ, that is equation 8 and 9 will give me the coordinates of Q point. I have shown here the DC load line with the Q point once again. Now let us see how to plot different Q points on DC load line. That is what I said, significance of DC load line. Let me take the first case if IB is equal to 10 microamps. Now, you know IC is equal to beta times IB. Beta is given in the circuit as 200. IB is given here. If I substitute, I will get this as 2 into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to minus 6. 3 and minus 6 will lead to me 2 into 10 raised to minus 3, which is nothing but 2 milliamps. So IC, or I can write this as ICQ. ICQ, I got it as ICQ, I got it as 2 milliamps. Further, if I go, VCE is equal to this, and if I substitute, or even I can write it as VCEQ is equal to this, I'll get it as 10, because this is 10 volt, minus ICQ, I got it as 2 milli, RC, it is 1 kilo ohm. If I substitute, milli and kilo get cancels, 2 into 1 is 2, 10 minus 2 is 8 volt. That means I'll get the Q point as 2 milliamps and 8 volt. Let us see this plotting in the graph. This is the IC saturation point. I am getting 2 milliamps here. IC saturation is actually what? VCC by RC. That is 10 volt by 1 kilo ohm, which will give me 10 milliamps. So this is 10 milliamps. Whereas VCE cutoff value is the applied voltage, that is 10 volt. So that also I'll write here. VCE cutoff is equal to VCE, which is nothing but 10 volt. So I have marked here, these are the end points. So if this is 10, middle one will be 5, somewhere this will be 2.5 or 2. So 2 milliamps and 8 volt is somewhere near 10 volt. So if I take this line, I will get Q point here. In the second case, if IB is increased from 10 micro to 25 micro, ICQ becomes 5 milliamps in the same way if I calculate. Then VCEQ becomes 10 minus 5 milli. Again here milli and kilo get cancels. I will get it as 5 volt. Then 5 milli and 5 volt. From 10 it is exactly half. From 10 it is exactly half. So if I take these two, I will get another Q point here. This calculation, we will see what is this value later. Now I can say that Q point in the first case is near cutoff. If the Q point is here, it is cutoff. But the Q point was here in the first case, hence I can say it is near cutoff. Whereas in the second case, it is exactly at the center of the active region. So third case, if I increase this to 40 micro, and in the same way if I do, ICQ is equal to 8 milliamps, and I'll get VCEQ as equal to 2 volt after substitution. So 8 milliamps will come somewhere here, 2 milliamps will come somewhere here. So if I draw, this is another Q point I am getting, which is near to saturation. So I have shown here 3 different positions. One is exactly at center, another is at near cutoff region and near saturation region. Near cutoff and near saturation region we don't prefer because they don't provide or give us faithful amplification, whereas center of the active region will provide faithful amplifications. So this example shows how important DC load line is and how it is playing a role in selecting Q point, thereby reflecting faithful amplification at the output. Thank you. We will see the next topics in the next videos. As I said, please subscribe my channel for more videos, and you can even suggest the topics you find it difficult so that I will try to do those things in the coming videos. Thank you so much.